Coming at you from my living room along with Sphinxy. Isn't that right, Sphinxy? You say hi? She is apparently not impressed. So, before you complete this video, you want to make sure that you have watched the video above this one, because this is a play pause it, which means that you're going to be graded on some of the questions that I ask you during it. And the questions that I'm going to be asking you have to do with the video above this one. So if you haven't watched it, stop this one and go back before it's too late, before you have to answer a question and get it wrong. So this video is going to ask you some questions about pixels on a screen or a monitor, their location, and buttons, and how we call out the location of a button by its pixel. That's pixel location. It's a certain pixel that we look for on a button. That's what you need to know from the prior video. Also, we're going to talk about how this talks to the computer and the order that that happens and how it tells things to happen on the screen. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a button. I'll draw a button right here. And the question is what is the location of this button? You're trying to bite me? Is that what you're trying to do right now? You're trying to bite me? Is that what you're trying to do? Yes. Out of control. So hopefully you got that one right. And we're going to go over the answer now that it's too late for you to go back. And the correct answer would have been 4, 4. This button has its top left corner at 4, 4. And remember, we start at the top left corner. We go over 4, down 4. That's where the top left corner of this button is. And that's how we call out its location. Now, we can say the size of this button. So we could tell the computer when we're writing the program, okay, we want to put a button at 4, 4, and then we would tell it how big we want that button to be. So we would say in this case that it was 4 pixels by 7 pixels, because it was 4 pixels high, 7 pixels wide. All right, so let's do another one here. I'm going to draw a new button. Let's do it right here. And go ahead and tell me the location of that button. All right, now, the answer to that one, this would have been the point 8, 10. So over 8 pixels down 10 pixels is the upper left-hand corner of that button. And now how big is that button? Okay, so we're going to need to know all of that whenever we start programming both websites in HTML and our JavaScript, which is going to give actions to our website. We need to know where to put things on the screen, how to call them out by pixel location, and then how big we want buttons to be and what we want those buttons to do and all that good stuff. So next up is the order of events that happen when I'm moving the mouse around and clicking on this screen that you see here. So you can see my whole computer screen. We're going to pretend you can't. We're going to pretend that we're only talking about this area right here, which is 15 pixels by 15 pixels. So this is a resolution of 225 because 15 times 15 is 225. Your iPhone is about 800, 750 or so by 1300. So you have over 1 million pixels of resolution on this. Now, here's what happens. Let's erase this so we don't get confused here with all this. Now, right now, as you can see, I'm moving the mouse around, hovering around the screen. It's updating where the cursor is, and it's wherever the cursor is hovering over, it's changing that pixel to a little bit darker so we know what pixel it is that we're clicking. Now, right now, the computer is checking 1,500 times a second. Where's the mouse? Where's the mouse? Where's the mouse? The mouse is sending its location 1,500 times a second. And every time the computer gets a new location, it updates the location of the cursor, so the little arrowhead, on the screen. It says, oh, they moved the mouse over to pixel 3, 3, and so it changes all the little pixels that it has to put the cursor right there. And in this case, since we only have a 15 by 15 screen evolution, it's just coloring that box dark gray. So I'm hovering around, the computer's constantly checking, updating the location of the cursor on the screen, and then all of a sudden I click. And so the mouse says, okay, what location was that mouse at when that click came through? So it looks at the location. In this case, it says that it's 4,5. And so it goes and it looks through all of the code and says, okay, well, what is at 4,5? And in this case, there's a little box there that needs to be colored. So the computer looks into the program to see, okay, well, what color was selected? In this case, it was black. And then it says, okay, well, I'm going to color that pixel black because that's what the program said to do when the mouse is clicked over this spot. So let's draw a button. Let's say that there was a button right here, and we're going to make this button red, and we'll erase this little pixel right here. So let's say that here's my mouse, and I click right here. Oops, let's change the color to black. Let's say I click right here. The computer looked in the program and said, well, there's no button right there, so I'm just going to do what else is in my program, which is turn it black. So let's say this red button stands for the, I don't know, the abort button, abort mission, fire nuclear launch codes, I don't know. So the computer checks. Let's say I click again right here. Well, the computer's like, well, no, that wasn't on the button either, so I don't really have to do anything. And now I'm going to click right here. So the computer says, okay, that click was in the same area that there is a button, so I'm going to do what the program tells me. So it looks into the program and says, oh, this button needs to fire a nuclear weapon at Mr. Leclerc's house. And so, boom, it executes that program. So again, recap. Here's what happens. Computer constantly checking for the location of the cursor. Nothing's happening, so it just keeps on doing that. Once there's a click, so I clicked. Now the computer has to check in memory for a program. So it looks to the memory for the program to see what the heck is going on in this program at this location. In this case, it found that there was nothing, so it doesn't do anything. Now I'm going to click on the button. So again, first the computer was checking for the location. Okay, it found that, okay, there was a button at this location, so it looks into memory for the program to see what exactly needs to happen when this button is clicked. And then in this case, since it was a nuclear launch code button, it executes the program and launches nuclear weapons. So, last question. Let's say that there is a button right here. And let's say that I'm going to click this button. So the question is what is the sequence of events that happens when I move my cursor around, click this button? All right, see you on the flip side.